What's up, beautiful people? I'm back at it one time for the one time. This is Wisdom Talk with the Phoenix. So I kind of just, whatever God put on my mind and heart to talk about, I enlighten y'all with some wisdom on it. Okay? So today we're gonna talk about parenting. Yeah, okay. So I have 3 children. They are 8, 10, and 12 this year. And I love watching them grow. I love seeing the world through their eyes. Children are more spiritual than they are of this world because they are young spirits, which requires guidance from the parents, but also an understanding of them and their intuition, and their spiritual understanding and enlightenment. Like my kids, they've been knowing how to pray since they was babies almost, because it comes so natural to them, because they are spiritual beings more so than fleshly or of this earth beings, because they hadn't been here long. Okay, so a couple things. I'd like to believe that I have pretty good kids. Just talking to other parents and just hearing from teachers, you know, whatever, whoever's been placed in charge of my children over the years, they tend to tell me, "You're doing a good job, Mom and Dad." Okay, so I won't take anything away from my ex-husband. He does try to be there for the kids as much as possible now that we ain't together anyway. But that's another video. But as far as parenting goes, before I had any children, I was around kids all the time. Like, I remember changing my nephew's diaper when I was 6 years old. So I'm pretty familiar with being around kids and babies and what is required to raise them. So kids kind of just know, they know if you got a heart for them or not, and they can sense that. It's something we're all born with, that sense of discernment, but we kind of suppress it as we get older, and try to give people the benefit of the doubt. No, people, okay, that's another video too. But while I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, who is 12 now, I had an older woman tell me, however you want that child to be, you need to teach them now. Again, however you want that child to be, as far as character, you need to teach them now. So that pretty much resonated so strongly with me. Like, you know, that was 13 years ago, because I was pregnant with her. She's 12 now. That it really shaped my mind in how I approach parenting and raising my kids. So a lot of times parents, like, I grew up in a home where I couldn't question, I couldn't ask questions. I couldn't ask why this or why that. Or my mother's response was, don't question my motives. Okay, so if you grow up in a home believing you can't ask questions, you're gonna become an adult who's just gonna go with the flow, who's gonna be a people pleaser, who's not gonna, you know, if the world go this way, you're gonna go this way. If the world go, and that's what I'm seeing with the trends, and, you know, okay, nobody asking questions, you know, with media, and that's another video too. But for me, I wanted to make sure that I didn't lie to my kids. I don't lie to my kids. Now, I'll filter and make whatever their question is age appropriate, but I don't lie to my kids. I don't try to cover up, brush shit under the rug. I don't do none of that. I give them the real deal, Holyfield. Okay? And that's mainly because as they get older, they're gonna have influences outside of me. When they're little, they're 4, 5, 6 years old, I'm their biggest influence. Now, when they start getting to junior high and high school and they start questioning the world and questioning this and that, they're going to seek other influencers, teachers, friends, all of that is going to play a part in influencing them. So I wanted to make sure that they understood you could still come to me and ask me anything. Whatever you heard from your friend or whoever, you could come ask me and I'm going to give you the real deal. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to give it to you straight. No chase, okay? And that's something that I started at a very young age, so they know. I know my mom ain't going to lie about it. As far as teaching them character and skills, again, I started at a very young age. Like, for me, handling money was a major learning curve. Ain't nobody in my family got money. So for me, I had to learn how to manage money. And I'm finding that a lot of people don't know how to manage money. So I started them young. They have a save, spend, and give bank. 3 different banks. And they get paid a commission at home. They don't get allowance. They get a commission. They gotta know how to work. A man that don't work don't eat. Okay, so they get paid a commission, and from the money that they have their chores, and then they have their commission work that they can choose to do. If they choose to do it, they get paid. When they get paid, they have to put a portion in the save bank, a portion in the spend bank, and a portion in the give bank. And that's just setting the tone early for proper stewardship and understanding sowing and reaping and saving for something that you want, all of that. Okay, so as far as character and personality, my kids know how to clean up. I teach them now. They know how to cook. They know how to clean. They know how to do their laundry. And again, I have an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 12-year-old. I make their chores and everything age appropriate. But I'm teaching them now, because the sad reality is my daughter is going to bring home one of y'all knucklehead boys that can't even tell time. I'm going to need the rest of the parents to get it together, okay? I'm an old school parent, but at the same time, I talk to my kids. They have gotten whoopings before, but that's like the last resort for me. Because a whooping is not discipline. Just whooping them and they still don't really understand what it is that they did wrong is not really discipline to me. But because I talk to my kids, like one of the things, my son is extremely intelligent. I have 2 girls and 1 boy. My son is in the middle and he's extremely, extremely intelligent. My girls are intelligent too, but my son is he's one of those, he's like me. Like hard to make friends because you don't really have the same, we ain't on the same wave frequency, so it's hard to sit and talk to somebody. When I was a kid and in high school, most of the time the teenagers just did stupid shit. Even though I was a teenager, it was like, y'all stupid, you know? Like, so it was hard for me to make friends because the level of intelligence, the level of intellect was so high. It's like, okay, I connected more with my teachers than I did with the students at school. And my son, I'm seeing that in my son. My son, I always tell his teachers at the beginning of the school year, if you could have a conversation with him and talk to him, just talk to him, you will find that he's one of your brightest students. Teachers, is 30 kids in the class, so sometimes it's hard to take that time, and because he had a teacher when he was in 1st grade, I think, and he would always come home and, oh, my teacher got some new boots this weekend, and like, what? And she would just talk to the kids, like just have regular conversations. And I do that with all my children. So it's not, I don't talk at my kids, do this, do that, go here, go there, sit down, shut up. Like, I don't talk at my kids all the time. Like, we have conversations. I play games with them. I had a coworker, he has a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And I was, checking in, hey, how this family, blah, blah, blah. He said, my kids fight all the time. Yeah, one boy and one girl. He was like, I don't know. They fight all the time. Like they'll start playing with each other and then it end in a fight. I said, well, do you play with your kids? I said, do y'all play like board games and stuff? So he was like, no. I said, play a board game with them, or, play cards with them, or play something with them so they can understand and see how to play in a healthy way. And when, somebody start winning or losing, it's not this big uproar or this big competition. He was like, oh, okay. Because I play cards with my kids. Now, I don't let them win, so they understand what it's like to lose, but that makes them stronger. It makes them understand the game better. But at the same time, because we're playing the game together, they know how to play, interact healthy. I'm blessed that they're 2 years apart, so they tend to play with each other pretty well. But it was, let me see. As far as parenting goes, I teach them early. Because when I look at, okay, how do I want you to be? How would ideally, what kind of character, morals, ethics, integrity do you need to have? And, I'm blessed. I thank God every day. I'm so grateful that I recognize their gifts early. God revealed their gifts to me early in their lives. And I've cultivated those gifts and I expose them to more of their gifts. So a lot of times, especially in the Black and Hispanic communities specifically, exposure is what cuts off our circulation to some degree. So our children are not exposed to some of the things that other children may be exposed to. So they don't get to, go see the beach if there's not a beach around, or going to, the White House, or, things like that our children miss out on, they're not exposed to. So it's kind of a lag there, if you will, because the intelligence is there. The intelligence is there. Oftentimes it's the exposure or the resources that are available. So for my kids, my oldest daughter, she started sewing when she was 6 years old. Now, she always expressed an interest in hair. She likes to do hair. My mom is really good at doing hair. It kind of skipped over me. I don't really have the patience to do hair. No. But my daughter, my mom showed my daughter how to braid, how to scalp braids, French braid, when she was like 4 or 5 years old. So, she would make little rubber band jewelry, and she was always very artsy and crafty, and she loved to draw. This is a little girl that would sit and watch La La Loopsy or whatever the little Nick Jr. cartoons were and draw the characters freehand. So I knew that she was very creative and very gifted at art. But when she tore a hole in her pants and she grabbed a needle and thread and sewed it, washing the wood, who sewed this? I did. Who taught you how to sew? Big mama? Like my mama? Did she? No, it's just like braiding hair. It's easy. Oh, okay. At 6? Sewing is easy at 6? Okay. So I found a sewing class at the recreation center. I put her in the sewing class. They showed her how to use a sewing machine. They showed her how to she made pencil pouches and pillows and shirts and pants and pajamas, and it kind of opened up a new world for her, that everything you wear can be sewed together. So I truly believe if you teach a man to use his hands, he'll never be broke. So it's good to have intellectual gifts, and we're sending our kids to college for intellectual property, which is great. But our children in times like this quarantine that we're in now, in times like this, we need to make sure that we can use our hands as well. Because my daughter being able to sew, she can go to college and get her intellectual property, and while doing so, do hair or sew clothes for the frats and the sororities, and never really have to work for anybody. Those are the things that I expose my children to. Those are the things that I teach my children, with the hopes that, I had a friend, you're normal, you operating in your normal, you think that's everybody's normal. But in the process of being in the business world and what I do, and my kids will probably grow up to have businesses because they saw their parents do it. My son is very gifted at music. From the time he was 3-4 years old in school, in order for him to concentrate and focus on his homework, he would hum a tune, he would sing. So I put him in music class. I found took him to the high school band. They made him a junior drum major, and he's, loving, mimicking the cadences for the drum line, and he's reading sheet music, and he's extremely gifted at music. So I try to keep him in that arena. And I thank God for my experiences, that there are so many avenues that you could take in the music world. You don't necessarily have to be the artist in front of the camera singing the songs. You can be the producer, the writer, and there's so many ways to make money in music. I know, like, Lil Jon got a contract with Tony Hawk video game. One of the video games, he do all the music for the video game. There's so many different ways to make money in music. My youngest daughter is a dancer. She loves to dance. She's really good at dance without any kind of technical dance background. She can mimic dance. She's a lot like me. I can dance really well. And so I just thank God that I've been exposed and I can see their gifts early, and I can cultivate those gifts. And with my business experience, I can show them how to make it into a profitable asset, because the truth of the matter is, whatever it is that you're gifted at, that's your purpose. Whatever you will do and just do it for free and it's therapeutic for you, sewing is therapeutic for my daughter. My son likes to write songs. He likes to write stories, and he calls it a song, okay? That's what songs are, telling stories. It is therapeutic for him. Writing is therapeutic for him. Dancing is therapeutic for me and my youngest daughter. So whatever it is that's in you that requires very little effort is probably what you should be doing to make money with, rather. And as we see, if you operate in your gifts, somebody will pay you. I learned that being in dance. I love to dance, so naturally I go where there's dance. I'm always dancing, and I've had people pay me $60 an hour to teach them some dances that took me, a day to do. It is so effortlessly done for me, but I've had people pay me for my gifts. And I'm here to tell you that whatever gift that you have that God has given you, somebody will pay you for it somewhere. That's a guarantee. I put money on that myself. Okay, so again, parenting, teach them now. However you want them to be, teach them now. Stop lying to your kids. Get to know your kids. Talk to your kids. Learn them. Interact with them. Grow with them. Look at life through their eyes. Don't try to be just this controlling, authoritative parent. That don't really work. Okay? But y'all talk to me. Let me know how y'all parenting skills go. I'd love to hear from some things that you've noticed as a parent that just is out of this world, amazing, that you didn't think you would ever get to experience. So talk to me in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Sorry this video is long, but we're talking about parenting. So bye.